In this video, I'm going to share the daily habits that you can do to slow the aging process down. You have influence over it. It's going to walk you through some of the steps that you need to do on a regular basis that give you control of your health. If you're over the age of 40, most people think aging is actually an inevitable decline. But if you actually read the information out there, you can understand that you do have an element of control of how fast it progresses. In over 25 years of practice, I've observed people do lifestyle changes that had a very large impact on their vitality, their energy, and by the end of this video, you'll have a roadmap to help you with healthy aging. Yes?
What's one herb every woman should be taking?
Oh, this is easy. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. They need to take Sisandra. It is known as longevity herb for women. But I'm telling you right now, the effect it has on a woman's body, not only makes them healthier, makes them happier, but also changes parts of their body that make them have more beauty and also live longer in a better life.
Do you have any suggestions for anti-aging and wrinkling?
So I want you to picture this. Let's take an organic apple. Take a bite of it and set it down right here. Now, what happens, no joke, within a minute of the apple? It starts to oxidize. When they talk about aging, there's an oxidative process. And so therefore, what you need to do is you want to also do certain antioxidant things and really, ladies, support your liver like crazy. If you look at the longevity herb of women, what is it? Sisandra. And so therefore, by reducing your inflammation, keeping your oxidative damages down, which is by reducing your inflammation, and you can really keep beautiful aging and less wrinkles and less crow feet. Find the stressor first. Now remember, there's 3 types of stressor. There is mental. Mental stress, I believe, contributes to a vast majority of female issues, but there's also toxic things, there's also traumatic things, physical problems that had to happen. You can't limit your stress, try to adapt to it. Number 1, ashwagandha. For men that want to support testosterone production, ashwagandha has a significant amount of studies talking about increasing testosterone levels and building levels up, which is fantastic. Second of all, California poppy. The second most thing I ever gave out in practice. Very good at sedating and calming the nervous system while you can still function quite well. It has such great medicinal properties. That's going to give you some relief while you figure out the stressors that's really affecting you.
Is it the lack of sleep making me age faster?
Probably one of the biggest contributing factors. If there's one thing that I've told people for as long as I can remember is how important sleep is. And not only just sleep itself, when you go to bed, when you wake up, is a routine. I'm very strict on myself when it does come to sleep. It's probably the thing I try to always focus on, number 1, because without the recovery period, without the amount of sleep that you need, minimally 7 hours for both men and women, I just believe women need more. It's going to affect immune responses. It's going to affect legitimately how you respond to an inflammatory response. There's so many factors, like I said, that can cause degeneration to the body, including aging. So therefore, what I do is focus on sleep, number 1, and then start looking for the other things that create inflammation in your body that can lead to fast aging.
How to look 10 years younger?
Start to reduce the oxidative damage in your body, because oxidation will create damage to your proteins and other tissues, and that's why you start to wrinkle. So first way to do is get rid of all your sugars. Really, honestly, it's going to reduce the amount of reactive oxidant species that are available, and then increase your protein intake dramatically. Then by nature, your healthy essential fatty acid intake will usually go up, especially if you eat some organ meats. And what that will now do is you'll get better skin, better organ, less swelling, less puffiness, and you're going to look younger. How foods impact aging, women's health. By nature, everybody wants to look good, but the idea is that women have a little bit more concern about that. I'm just going to give the basis for the highest antioxidant-based foods that you can do that are extremely cheap. They should be put in your diet on a regular basis, and you can do that for your kids, yourself, and moving forward. And these should almost be like a foundational thing for you. So let's take a look at some of the highest antioxidant-based foods, and I'm skipping number 1, and I put a C up there, okay? So I want everybody to do this. Now remember, I did that on purpose. Number 1, I just put a C there because I want you to think about it and think what I'm gonna say, but let's talk about this, all right? But then I gave some different categories. You look at fruits, okay? Fruits, by far, blackberries dominate. So you guys know blackberry is my favorite fruit, not only from a standpoint of fiber, but it's the highest antioxidant-based fruit. The next is blueberries. Now, blueberries, once again, all of these things have pigments, polyphenols, flavonoids, epicatechins, all these that are fantastic at available electrons to stop the free radical damage. So therefore, I think blackberries are one of the greatest fruits to eat, not only for the antioxidant properties, but the fiber alone. I think blueberries. So this is not a joke. There's only 3 fruits that I really eat: blueberries, Blackberries and raspberries. Do you say them? Because I can get a little sugar fix from them, but I'm gonna stay with high fiber. Next, there's some teas, okay? Teas, because you still should be sipping on things. If you look at green tea is amazing for antioxidants. Do you guys understand and look at the screen? Matcha tea is 137 times more antioxidants than green tea, and green tea's high already. Matcha tea. You say, matcha tea. Make a latte, do something with it that way. But once again, matcha dominates in antioxidant when it comes to teas. Next, seeds and nuts, okay? If you look at what happens, walnuts, once again, walnuts are my favorite nuts there is. Does anybody want to know why? Does anybody want to know why walnuts are my favorite nut? Because it's the highest available nut with omega-3s. And it's kind of funny, omega-3s are great for the brain. And doesn't the walnut look like a brain? You say, it's kind of cool. There is a little relationship to kind of eating the food the way it looks and everything. But the idea is this. If you look at walnuts, they dominate in antioxidants because they also have specific vitamins that help an antioxidant state. And then pecans, okay? Pecans. So therefore, here's what happens. I like when people have like a little hand of nuts on a regular basis, stuff like that, where they actually just have a little bit of walnuts, have a little bit of pecans. I try to mix a little bit per day, just in very small amount, less than a handful that way, and throw a little bit of walnuts, a little bit of pecans. Not only the fact that they're high antioxidants, there's omega-3s and other nutrients, vitamins and minerals that you're gonna get from nuts that are great for not only your brain, your bowels, your heart, and every other aspect of your body. But once again, when you're eating these high iodine foods, it's going to help with aging. Number 5, if we look at the vegetables, artichokes dominate. They really do dominate, okay? And if you notice, artichokes not only have fantastic flavor, you can buy them on a regular basis, you can buy simple cans of them, they're fantastic. But then cauliflower. I will honestly tell you, I eat a lot more cauliflower than I do artichokes. Spices, mint and cinnamon. Mint and cinnamon dominate in antioxidants. I always tell people, if you ever want to chew gum, have a mint. Okay, so I'm getting xylitol, which is, the microbial aspects of xylitol, and also what it does for bowel purposes are absolutely fantastic. But mint and cinnamon are the 2 highest spices that you can do for antioxidant processes. Now, what I did on number 7, because I like the munchies, okay? Sometimes you just gotta munch, okay? So I picked 2 superfoods that are absolutely fantastic that have high antioxidant properties, and that's goji berries and pomegranate, okay? Goji berries and pomegranate. So if we look at that list again, fruits, blackberries and blueberries, teas, matcha and green, nuts, seeds, walnuts and pecans, vegetables, artichokes and cauliflower, spices, mint and cinnamon, superfoods, goji berries and pomegranate. These things have such a high antioxidant process that I would love if you just took this, pasted this on your refrigerator and say, okay, before I do some things, what can I do in order to actually make sure I have a high antioxidant process in my body to not only affect aging, but if I have other kind of conditions that I may be suffering with that way. So what I want you guys to understand is those things are very important. It's probably by far one of the most dominant antioxidants, if done right, that I think it's especially not only important for antioxidant health, but also women's health. So let's take a look. What dominates number 1? You're right, chocolate. Chocolate. If you get a wonderful chocolate, cacao, high flavonoid, it dominates when it comes to antioxidant properties. Now, yes, ladies, your Hershey bars does not count. Highly processed, once again, you saw fire, processed food. So therefore, you took something like cacao. Now you understand, cacao, pure chocolate, pure cocoa, is very bitter. It's very bitter. So therefore, you must make sure it's processed properly. You must make sure that you have something to add into it that way. And it can be fantastic. So once again, you will have less oxidation, which now contributes to you having better skin, better outlook, less wrinkles, and less oxidative processes that way. If we look at some of the things that we can do from high antioxidant supplements, I'm gonna list a couple of them right here, okay? Once again, vitamin A is extremely important, especially for skin health. Most people do not realize how important and how deficient most people are in vitamin A. And all of the naysayers out there right away talk about vitamin A toxicity. Most people are so deficient, the last thing I'm worried about is toxicity. And on top of it, most people do not eat enough vitamin A to become toxic. And for the aspect, the one research article talked about liver and toxicity, they ate a ton of polar bear liver. You understand? A cow, once again, doesn't have as much vitamin A as a polar bear because of the cold. Cold animals actually have more fatty acids and more things that want to do a wonderful job when it comes to the fat soluble vitamins. But vitamin A, cod liver oil, liver or liver capsules, but I just put capsule because I'd rather see you eat liver. Vitamin D, okay, you also want to make sure when you do vitamin D, get it from the sun. But if you do take it from a supplement, make sure that there's K2 there. And also vitamin C. These things are very high antioxidants, okay? Yes, and also vitamin E is there too. Vitamin E is very important for antioxidant purposes when it comes to the cardiovascular system. Number 4, coenzyme Q10, all right? Coenzyme Q10, once again, is an endogenous lipid that takes part in the mitochondrial respiratory chain reactions. Numerous pathological processes are associated with primary and secondary CoQ10 deficiencies, including mitochondrial disease, fibromyalgia, all the other conditions, okay? Coenzyme Q10 treatment is safe in humans, and new formulations that increase coenzyme Q10 absorption and tissue distribution have been developed. Oral administration of it is frequent antioxidant strategy, and many of the above-mentioned diseases promise to mild symptomatic benefit, okay? So I want you to think about this. Just that's why people will take, if you have any kind of cardiovascular issue, I would encourage a person from an antioxidant process to take a little dose of CoQ10. Now, once again, do you know where you can get CoQ10? Liver. Not a joke. You can get it from there. Eat heart. That's why you can take a heart gland, or you can take it directly individual as a supplement. And with the cardiovascular disease being so prominent, that's why I brought this one in there. I think coenzyme Q10 should be a part of a regular basis for people. All right. Next one, we take a look. Here it is, selenium. Selenium itself, here we go. Many of the physiological roles of the element selenium are directly attributed to the presence within at least 25 proteins named selenoproteins, collectively essential for life and also involved in oxidative stress. Okay, now if you read the rest of the research on here and stuff, you're going to notice that guess what happens is you're going to see that there is not only proteins that develop from taking selenium, but the oxidative process is being reversed because, once again, you have effects of the thyroid. And that's why when you ever look, one of the main things for selenium in the thyroid is actually an autoimmune process. They'll notice that there's actually selenial protein produced that actually helps you with glutathione, helps calm down any inflammatory markers. So that's why when people have autoimmune disease, especially Hashimoto's, I'm like going, man, get on a certain micrograms of selenium, because you're going to see a reduction of it that way. Next, a general idea is polyphenols. Now, the reason why I bring up this is where a lot of your plants, your fruits, your vegetables, and certain things come up. New phytochemicals as potential human anti-aging compounds, reality, promises, and challenges. So the research talks about in aging is an inevitable process influenced by genetics, lifestyle, environmental factors. That's why I like this. There's no such thing as anti-aging. It's an inevitable process, okay? Indirect evidence shows that the several phytochemicals can have an anti-aging capabilities, although direct evidence in the field is still limited. The report aims to provide a critical review of aspects related to the use of novel phytochemicals as anti-aging agents, to discuss the obstacles found when performing most anti-aging study protocols in humans, and to analyze future perspectives. In addition to the extensive study resveratrol, epicatechins, quercetin, curcumin, comes from turmeric, new phytochemicals have been reported to act as anti-aging agents, such as amino acids in L-theanine, which is in green tea, and also, once again, some other things. Furthermore, this review discusses the application and several new extracts. Finally, this review also discusses the most important biomarkers to test anti-aging interventions, the necessary of conducting epidemiological studies, and need for clinical trials with adequate studies and protocols for humans. Okay, so once again, there's things phytochemicals do have a wonderful thing of actually having some anti-aging properties. But once again, what I want to show you is this, is on the supplementation realm, you can take them from a standpoint, you can take actually supplements of coenzyme Q10, selenium, vitamin A, D, E, K, everything like that. But also, there's some spices and some supplement form in oils and everything that are dominant when it does come to this. And there's two that I really like the most. And here's what they are right here: cloves and oregano. People do not understand how high cloves is when it comes to an antioxidant process. It's psychotic. It really is. And so if you look at clove and you look at also oregano, two things that I think, once again, are so underutilized. The fact that they have microbial, and clove also has a numbing effect. That's why if you ever notice, you ever look at a natural formula when it comes to clove, it's actually used to actually attenuate and make pain go down in oral cavity, especially for children that they're teething. I think oregano oil is essential. I think people should be taking it on a regular basis, not only from an antioxidant process, but also microbial process that happens, especially if you're a woman, because obviously you do deal with a little bit more microbial overgrowth than most men. But I think oregano oil is going to do a wonderful job of as far as the supplementation that you can do that now has a high antioxidant process, but also has a major health benefit beyond just antioxidants, just like cloves. So now you've understand some of the healthy aging tips that you can implement in. And that's the big key, learning to implement the things that you learned in the past video that actually lead to very healthy aging. Now, if you are ready to work with one of our Wellness Way doctors on this personalized clinical approach to your aging, click in the link in the description below. If this video inspired you, like and subscribe for other videos to follow.